Aidan, what if I told you that weeks ago the Philadelphia Eagles were in first place with the best record in football, with quote unquote the MVP at quarterback, the best wide receiver in football, a Georgia defense who everybody is saying is the best of all time, and a head coach that people were putting in the Hall of Fame already, whether it be the meme Hall of Fame or the NFL Hall of Fame? He was going in a Hall of Fame. But now, just weeks later, the division title seems to be falling at the wayside. These Georgia players are becoming fat, out of shape, and lazy, called by Brian Baldinger. That MVP is no longer even on the board for the race, and that number one wide receiver has not caught a touchdown in 5 weeks. Aidan, how are you? What if I told you all of this was true?
You'd have told me all that 6 weeks ago. I'd have driven my car off a bridge about a month ago and avoided all this. It would have been a lot easier to stomach if I were at the bottom of a river right now.
With a brand new car?
That's going with me.
What happens then? Did somebody else have to pay for it, or does it just go away, the payments?
I paid in full, motherfucker. It's
Whoa.
paid off already.
Look at
So
you.
I have
Excuse
no
me.
car payments.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rich Man.
No, I just got way more on the insurance payment than I probably should have for the last car.
That counts. That's even better. But I mean, Aidan, it just seems like the sky is falling. People are saying now that Fletcher Cox has been the best player on the defensive line, and it's not even close. Yeah. Jalen Carter's hitting the rookie wall. Jordan Davis is a bust. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, that's just one position group. We haven't even covered anybody on the offense yet. That's the defensive line might be the best position group on the defense, and that's all you had to say about them. we haven't even gotten to the people who play behind them. They have an entire position group of people who don't belong in the NFL who start on this football team.
Hey, at least you got Shaq Leonard, though.
Speaking of people who are probably on their way out of the NFL. He wasn't awful.
He had 5 tackles, I think.
Yeah, he had a few tackles for loss. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to scream and yell to start. I feel like it'll build up, but I don't know how not to. I just don't know I don't know what to do. I'm at a total loss because I get re-mad every single day because the game is awful. They lose the game. And you're like, wow, there were some plays there that were really dumb. Or, wow, I really don't see like any effort here. And then the guys who do the all 22 film who know what they're talking about come out and they're like, actually, it's even dumber and worse than you thought. And it's just like, every day I feel I'm just not getting over this loss or any of the losses or the season or how things are going.
How do you just like 3rd and 20, just college rollout for Jalen, and then it's like 3rd and 17, you're like, let's do it again. It's like the meme from The Show Goes On.
Never mind. I think I'm going to scream and yell to start. Let's just talk about how dumb of a sequence this is because it's not that you don't see this in the NFL. You don't see this at the high school level of just how bad this was. They have the ball after the onside kick, which was smart. If they put up a touchdown there, you're feeling pretty good. They're down inside near the 20. They get a first down. They go holding penalty. Jalen Hurts, QB run. Not knowing the personnel. Mixing that up. Jalen Hurts run again for a loss of 4 yards. Call timeout because they don't know the personnel again. Wide receiver screen to Kenny Gainwell on 3rd and 20 with Devontae Smith blocking, who hurts his ankle. In what fucking world would that even be acceptable in pony midget football? Like what?
How
that
does
is the dumbest sequence of events that you wouldn't even see from the worst of the worst high school teams?
But I'm sure they're going to learn from it, Aidan.
No, they fucking won't.
There's a lot of learning going on, I've heard.
There's no learning going on. They are the Arizona State of learners. Everyone's accepted and nobody goes to class.
I don't know how Nick Sirianni as a head coach sees just that sequence and doesn't fire Brian Johnson or just take over play calling or be like, can you imagine? Like, that's like you're playing Madden with your buddy and your buddy does that. You just go through the screen like, what the fuck are you doing?
The best Madden players in the world would be better fucking play callers because they half the game is just slants. And we can't get a group of professional coaches to figure that out. That AJ Brown, who's a top 5 receiver in the league, just one fucking slant. He had one target, went for 16 yards to set up that whole thing, and then you go into that sequence. This isn't that hard. It's really not. And I know that's easy for us to say in front of a microphone, just being like average white guys who watch a lot of football on television, but it's not that hard. It is just really isn't. It's just a basic elementary level knowledge and understanding of football that everyone in the world possesses. And apparently they don't.
You can't lose that game like that to Jonathan Gannon.
No. The defense, in honor of Jonathan Gannon, didn't get a single stop in the second half, just like he didn't get in the Super Bowl because he was interviewing for the Cardinals job illegally. And they gave up 200 yards of rushing, couldn't get a single stop in the second half.
What is happening is just, it's mind-boggling. I mean, and it's funny to say because they still have like 11 wins, but it's like, and they're tied at the top right now for the division. But I am a loss of. I'm enjoying it very much, though. It's been very enjoyable for me. I'm not gonna lie. Every aspect of it.
You're gonna win the division now, so I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there's fights on Cowboys Twitter right now about a lot of people want them to lay down and not win the division so they get the 5 seed and go to Tampa rather than having to face possibly the Rams at home. It's insane. It's insanity. But
the Rams would be the 6 seed.
Well, there's still a chance that they could be the 7. I mean, I'll take my chances with Green Bay at home. Thank you. And then having a second home game.
Yeah. Why would you want to
be having to avoid San Francisco until the NFC Championship game?
Yeah. Yes.
It's insanity.
You'd be on the same trajectory as last year if you laid down. You'd be the 5 seed, go to Tampa, and then you go to San Francisco the next week and probably get your fucking.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Especially with a team that has not lost 16 straight games at home, but we're going to worry about Jordan Love coming in. If we don't want to play Jordan Love at home, just pack it in now.
Yeah. Ironically, pack it in.
Yeah. How about that?
Okay.
But yeah, I have been enjoying it very much so because, I think you realize, like, I haven't been the biggest Nick Sirianni guy. Like, I think he came on the scene strong, but I don't love his antics. I'll tell you what, and the team has not recovered since Big Dom was kicked off the sideline.
Thank you.
That's the biggest loss of the season.
That's what it all boils down to. He was the glue who held it all together. Mm-hmm. That's what I try to tell people. That's what I try to say. Nick Sirianni, though, should he be fired? Absolutely not. Like, listen, this was a terrible.
Let's say if he was fired, how long till he gets another job? Like 2 days?
Probably, yeah. Like
he gets another head coaching job, correct?
Probably, yeah. He'd be on a staff for sure.
I think somebody like Carolina would hire him, or
they already hired Frank Reich, so they'll just go right back to the well.
I think Washington.
Sure, that would actually make great television if they hired Nick Sirianni.
Josh Harris.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's another thing. Now I got to put my eggs back in the Sixers basket again. I know how that ends. This is a disaster. I'm in Groundhog Day
until October rolls around, and
then I'm back in the same predicament again.
in the NLCS, seeing Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto and Freeman and Mookie Betts.
They won't even be there. They'll lose to the fucking 85-win Giants, who will go on a tear with some like third baseman we've never heard of, who batted .204 in the regular season, then hit 6 home runs in the championship series. That's all baseball is.
Yep.
Everything with
football. Can this be fixed?
No.
You don't think?
Not at all. No. This is my hot take. I actually think, in a way, them going to Tampa and being the wild card is actually better. You can feel it during that sequence I just screamed about on offense. You could feel it. They knew they were screwing up. They were tense. They were not locked in. you could feel the crowd just barreling down on them because they had seen it one too many times this year. They had seen it on Christmas where you almost gave the game away to a lesser opponent, and the vibe is just bad. And it's hard to blame the fans because, like I just said, that sequence you never ever see from any level of football. It is inexcusable at the lowest levels of junior varsity football. But it just feels like there's a level of tense vibes within the stadium that I think they just need to go play in Tampa. Go play somewhere warm. It's not exactly a overwhelming, home field advantage for Tampa. When they played in September as half Eagles fans anyways. Go play there. I think that's their only chance of getting it right. In a way, being the 5 seed is actually better. And
So you're
wherever they end up next after that.
So you're arguing for the same thing for the Eagles that all these Twitter Cowboys fans are arguing for them.
Yes, but mine makes sense.
Yours does make more sense.
Your Cowboys fans are arguing for bypassing Jordan Love in the first round
at home where they haven't lost in 2 years.
Basically. At home where they haven't lost the entire year and avoiding the 49ers. Mine is like, yeah, why not? Let's play the 49ers in the second round on the road.
I don't know what they do, especially on the defensive side, because it just seems like, Maddox, maybe he was rusty. He jumped right in and is getting burned. It does look like Jordan Davis is walking on the field. They just don't have the horses.
No, they don't. They really don't. And some of this is fixable when Darius Slay's back and Zach Cunningham's back. That's for sure. Like they're actually like NFL capable players.
Yes.
And Darius Slay is one of the most capable corners in the league right now. What is the opposite of a well-oiled machine?
I bet he's so wishing he had gone to Baltimore at this point.
Who?
In the offseason. Slay. Remember he was so close. Everybody thought he was going to Baltimore.
Oh, could you imagine that defense with
I know.
Slay?
Can you imagine if he was
already?
He's probably like,
oh yeah. I thought that. So after the game, I drove to DC, and you drive through Baltimore to get there. And I was on the highway looking at M&T Bank Stadium, all lit up purple after the big win. And I'm like, I remember those vibes. All nice and lit up after a big win, on their way to a Super Bowl. Vibes are high, blowing teams out. Long ago, I remember that feeling.
Linebackers who can play and hit people. And
that's my thing with the defense. When you say, is this fixable? No, they do not have an NFL caliber linebacker unit. They probably didn't from the beginning. I obviously high on Kobe Dean, but there's injury.
What's his deal? Does he have a chance to come back this year?
Apparently not. You don't hear anything about him.
Nothing.
So I guess not. He's also on IR for the second time. So even if he does come back, like what is his value?
Yep.
I really don't know. I like him. I still have high hopes for him. But even if he was healthy and playing to the capability that you thought, that's one linebacker.
Yep.
That'd be one.
Yep.
Okay?
Like you need more than one.
It would be helpful if you had an entire unit full of capable
right players. There with you on that one.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say you're in the same position we are. They don't have anybody right now, and it kills them week after week in the running game, in the passing game. They're trying to disguise, like they're just throwing anything at the wall, hoping it sticks. It's gotten to the point of just lacking common sense to make up for the fact that the linebackers are bad. So now they're like dropping Nolan Smith into coverage. They dropped Hassan Reddick into coverage. You know how dumb that is and how ironic it is that Hassan Reddick, on a team that needs pressure on the quarterback, dropped into coverage more times on Sunday than an entirety of his Eagles tenure. Who is a guy who came into the league as an off-ball linebacker with the Cardinals and was considered a bust because he wasn't a good off-ball linebacker. They move him to edge rusher. He revitalizes his whole career, becomes one of the best edge rushers in the league. And now you're dropping him back into coverage, which is what he failed at to begin his entire career.
Against the team he failed in.
It's dumb. It's just dumb, Kevin. This makes no sense. There's years and years of tape that tell you this makes no sense. Why would that be the solution? But it just feels like they'll try anything to make up for the fact that these linebackers are below average. And that's being nice.
Now, do you think, let's say they go to Tampa and they lose, or let's say they even go to Tampa, win, and then they lose next round. Serriani keeps his job. Do you think he cleans house in the coaching staff, or do you think he kind of uses this excuse of like, well, we didn't have linebackers or the horses and
No. It's not Nick Sirianni. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are clearing out. First of all, they already pseudo fired their defensive coordinator. He just sits in a box. He's in the same closet that Howie Roseman was in when Chip Kelly took over. You haven't heard from him since. He's already fired. He's just on the staff in name only. So he'll be gone. Matt Patricia. Anytime you see that dumbass pencil, you know you're about to give up 16 yards. When you see him with that pencil and just the copied play sheet, you know you're giving up a third down conversion for at least 9 yards. He's gone. Brian Johnson is gone. First of all, probably shouldn't have hired him to be offensive coordinator in the first place when his only validation for having the job was the fact that he was in Jalen Hurts' fucking neighborhood book club growing up. That's about all he had going for him, and now he's the play caller for an NFL offense, and you see how that's going. They will all be gone, no matter what.
Do you remember? Do you remember the offseason when Kellen Moore left?
Yes.
And I wanted Brian Johnson as the Cowboys offensive coordinator.
You still want him?
Nope. I'm good.
You can have him.
I'll be having Brandon Cooks leading the way for a wide receiver screen for Jalen Tolbert every play.
Here's another thing that could save them. They have failed so many times that they almost give in to the pressure and give in to the bullying. Again, bullying works in Philadelphia. We get everything we want if we just bully teams. I think that they'll start to call like common sense game plans just out of sheer like, all right, I give up. I'll do what the fans want. I'll run the ball. I'll run receiver screens to Devontae and AJ. I'll force feed the ball to AJ Brown 16 times a game. Like, I think they're at a point.
They need the Ask Madden button.
Yeah, honestly.
You know that?
Yeah, it would work. If that is, I know we're being facetious, but we're not really. Like, if they just played the game like almost like a generic video game, they'd be better off. They're talking so much like, oh, we don't want to be predictable. Be predictable.
They already are
predictable. AJ Brown. Some people are so good. You see this in the NBA all the time. Like, you know who takes the final shot for the Mavericks? Luka. They don't try to confuse teams. Oh, he's going to be a decoy in the corner.
Oh, you mean like bringing 3 guys in, reporting eligible to try and confuse the defense?
That worked. Just not on the refs. That play actually worked. But there was creativity in the game plan. I thought aside from that sequence, they actually played pretty well. Hurts, we just never saw them. They were 15 for 18 for 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Like they were fine. The offense was fine until that sequence. And there was some creativity. They had the fake tush push with the throw, the plays to Julio Jones where they had like DeAndre Lewis lined out, not quite a receiver, but also not a running back, kind of threw them off. And then you had Julio Jones go across the formation to the back pylon. There's some stuff there that you're like, all right, like this is, you guys are, some imagination, creativity in the game plan that you like to see. But I feel like it's just to a point that it's just like, throw the ball to A.J. Brown 16 times. This is what I want to say when you and I have talked about this. The Cowboys do a phenomenal job of getting CeeDee Lamb the ball, scheming him open. And the best part about it, there was one half the entire year against the Dolphins where he did not get the targets that he should get. It caused an uproar. And the next game, he had 13 receptions for over 200 yards. That is the difference right now. Like, if you're looking, why are the Cowboys about to win the division? Why are the Eagles collapsing? You could almost boil it down to that right there.
Yep. CeeDee Lamb getting the ball. You said they don't want to be predictable. They already are predictable. You might as well be predictable in running plays that actually work.
True.
Than being predictable in running Jalen Hurts running off the edge 3 times in a row on 3rd and 20.
Be more predictable, because I think it'll throw teams off, because you'll actually be running common sense plays. They had one target over the middle to AJ Brown, and it was for 16 yards. The week before, they had one target to Devontae Smith over the middle. It was a touchdown. You might be throwing teams off at this point when you're predictable. Just get the ball into your playmaker's hands. If you're running a wide receiver, you don't have to just remove the wide receiver screen from the play thing, but throw it to the guys who are good at throwing or catching the football.
This hurts my head, having the pencil in my hat for that long. That actually hurts. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe his brain.
He's distracted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the pain. He's just like that guy. He's like, well, nope, I got to keep it there now, even though it hurts. It's my thing.
He's too committed to the bit. Like the episode of How I Met Your Mother when
Yep.
Barney goes for the high five and no one will high five him. He's like, I'm not going to put my hand down until someone high fives me. He's just like, I can't feel my shoulder. My hand is stuck here. That's bad, Patricia. He's like, I can't take the pencil out now.
We're going to record another episode later this week that'll look
If I'm
ahead
alive.
towards the Cowboys, Commanders, and the Giants and the Eagles to finish out the season. I did last night. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I was clicking through. We have YouTube TV. I was clicking through the guide. She's like, "Are you scrolling to Sunday?" I was like, "Yes, I'm making sure that we're going to have the Cowboys game and the Eagles game." So I scrolled all the way to Sunday, and we will have both. The Eagles will be on CBS. The Cowboys will be on Fox.
Okay.
So that is
This
two.
is I do love the final week of the NFL season. It's what dreams are made of with NFL Red Zone, where every game at 4 o'clock means something, and it's just like a chaos carousel. It's the closest thing the NFL gets to like the first round of March Madness, where there's
Yep.
4 games going on, and you're like, oh, the 14 seed's beating the 3 seed. 8-9 coming down to the wire. Could be a buzzer beater. It's the same kind of chaos that ensues.
I will
on the
have
final week of
3
the NFL
TVs
season.
going: Eagles game, Cowboys game, Red Zone.
I will have 0 TVs going, and I'll probably be in a bathtub with a toaster plugged in.
That happens too. So,
Yes.
So we will be looking forward to that. Today is more of just another moratorium on the Eagles season and trying to get a little more of a therapy session out there and a little bit on the Cowboys of some moves that I think maybe they should make. You ready for that little Cowboys action? So
Yeah.
they're trying to bring the whole band back together. Apparently,
Do it.
Lyle Collins is back. He signed with the practice squad. He tore, I think, his ACL, MCL, PCL. I think he tore all 3. Hasn't played football this
What?
season. Last year, I think.
Oh.
So he hasn't played football all season, and to try and get a guy in shape during the week of Week 18 for a playoff run. Sounds like a good job. But I mean, why not? You get him on the practice squad. He's really good friends with Dak Prescott. He's been in the building. So I mean, I think it's kind of a win-win kind of situation. It's a low cost, whatever reward you get out of it, you get out of it. The only thing that scares me a little bit is Tyler Smith last week during the game. Finally, he's had a partial tear of his plantar fascia. He tore it completely, which most people say that's a good thing because then the
That
pain
was
goes away.
a wild comment.
I
They're
know.
like, he tore a muscle in his body. Actually, that's good. You
Yeah.
don't hear that. Imagine going to the doctor and like, the good news is you tore it completely.
Yep. Well, that's like your bicep tendon too. If you tear it partially, it's painful. If you tear it fully, like the pain goes away. I remember that happened with Brett Favre years ago. Like he tore it partially, he was playing with it, and then he finally like tore it fully, and then he could just like sling the ball again. I'm like, that's really weird.
Brett Favre was probably just doing like hand windmills in his backyard till it popped.
Just pop, bitch. But the only thing that scares me a little bit is, does that mean like his injury is a little more worrisome than they're letting on, and that's why they're bringing in a guy like Lyle Collins? I don't know if they're having him be more of backup at tackle or guard. TJ Bass, the undrafted rookie from Oregon, has played well when he's had to be thrown in there for Zach Martin at guard, as well as for Tyler Smith. So I think he can hold down the fort in Week 18 if need be. They've also worked out Damian Wilson, the former linebacker. So they're trying to they're trying to bring everybody back. I heard Jeff Heath can still play a little bit. Barry Church maybe. I don't know. We're gonna bring all the guys back. But there is an interesting guy out there now. Again, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
He was linked to the Cowboys in the offseason. He went to the Jets. He's only touched the ball 67 times this season. When he has touched the ball, I think it's like 3.2 yards a pop. Not great.
No.
Doesn't look like the Dalvin Cook of 2018, 2019 with Minnesota that we know. But he hasn't touched the ball a lot this year. So you would think for a short games stretch, his legs are fresh. The Cowboys running game hasn't been great. We've seen at the goal line, can't get in. I think a lot of this has to do with the offensive line more than just the running backs. But, you sign him to a practice squad deal. Like they had to bring up Deuce Vaughn the other day, who's is 4 feet tall and he can't pass protect. And like, why? I see people like fighting against this on Twitter. Like, no chance, don't do it. I'm like, why are we saying no to this? It's not. I'm not saying that he needs to be the feature back. Like Pollard will still be RB1, but you bring him in for some touches. You just see what he can do. It's not going to cost a lot, and it's you basically rent him for the playoffs. Am I crazy here, Aidan?
No, that's actually the move that we talk about the most that we love. It's the low risk, high reward. You don't pay much. You give up no draft compensation to do it. And best case scenario, he helps the running game. If not, it just kind of stays the same. And it's been a banged up unit. I know Rico Dowdle's been hurt. And did you know this? Tony Pollard broke his leg this year.
Wow. That's
I can't say that anymore.
Nope, last year.
Oh, he broke his leg last year. It hasn't been a full calendar year yet, but it was last year. So, but yeah, I mean, why not?
I mean, he's not going to cost you much. No. I wouldn't think. If he is demanding a lot of money, no one's going to sign him.
Yeah.
And like for the end of this season, if anybody like, where is he going to go? Like, it's got to be a playoff team. I don't think the Niners are going to sign him unless McCaffrey's calf strain is bad, but they have backups anyway. Rams don't need him. I wouldn't think Green Bay. Buffalo, no. I don't think the Eagles would.
The Bills would be interesting just for the sheer fact his brother is on the team, and then they would play with each other and possibly win a Super Bowl together. So
cook and cook.
I don't know his impact on that team aside from just like the vibes of two brothers playing together.
Oh, you kind of mean like how Stephon Diggs is going to be on the Cowboys next year with Trayvon?
Stephon Diggs, talking about wide receivers, he fell off a cliff. Man, wow. I don't know. And they're winning, though. That's the craziest thing. Yep. They've won like 4 straight.
Ever since
remember when the Eagles beat them in overtime and scored 37 points?
Mm-hmm. And remember when they went on the road to Kansas City? And, well, that actually, I don't know if that looks like such a great win anymore. Kansas City's
can't
not
tell.
That.
Kansas City's not that.
But going to Kansas City is always a good win, especially in prime time. But so yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Just get it done, shut up, see what he can do, and you move forward and you try and reinforce in a place where you need reinforcements. If he's not the same guy, he's not the same guy, but who knows? And I tweeted out a funny thing. I don't know if you saw it yesterday in air quotes. I said, Lyle Collins with the huge block that springs Dalvin Cook for a 23-yard run, and the Cowboys take a 7-0 lead in the NFC Championship game with like the Jumanji gif of what year is it?
What year is it?
It's oh God, here we go. But why not? You especially now you have a chance to have the 2 seed. And Washington, it only benefits everybody for you to lose, right? Gives you a chance at the number 2 pick.
They might lose by $8 billion. We'll do a preview show, and I don't know why. This game might be 85-0.
I don't know. Dallas? Yes. It's going to be like snow and rain unless they sit everybody.
Doesn't matter. They're who would I don't even know who's on their team who would need a contract incentive. They traded away the 2 people on their defense who might have it in their contracts. Just name.
They're clearing house too. You want to talk? Ron Rivera's done.
Yeah. They're gonna lose their coach. Yeah, I think they already fired the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jack Del Rio. I'm sure. I don't know if the enemy's gonna come back.
Yeah, and you're like, if they lose, then they set themselves up possibly for like Caleb Williams or Drake May. Yeah, which also, this was very funny. I don't know if you saw, the Cardinals were driving to win, and they panned to the Cardinals GM on the sideline having a full-blown panic attack. He's like, I've worked so hard, and you guys are trying to win this game. What are you doing?
And then they won the game.
He was like looking at it, like they panned to him, and he's like looking up, and he looks panicked, and like in his mind, all of Marvin Harrison's catches are going through it, and he's like, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it all.
It's all gone. It's all gone.
So the Commanders are not going to do that.
Yeah, I would hope not. So, and I think the football gods were like feet up on the table, eating chips and dip halfway through the season. And then they're like, wait a second. We can't have the same team win this division 2 years in a row.
Yeah, they waited to do the group project to the very end, and they're like, oh shit, that was due today.
Make them lose.
Make them lose the Cardinals at home. Wait, Drew Lock? We have to make them lose to Drew Lock? Oh, it's going to be impossible.
Dude, they lost. I know. Drew Lock, Kyler Murray.
They weren't this bad.
We lost to Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs, yeah. That. What a year.
Isn't it amazing that the Commanders and the Giants both beat the Cardinals, and the Eagles and the Cowboys both lost to the Cardinals?
It's football for you. NFL football. Every week something new and exciting and different, except for the
Eagles.
Will
say though, the Cowboys were missing 3 offensive lineman starters in that game. So, and that was like at the start of the Josh Dobbs era.
We were missing 9 defensive starters. Not by injury. We just don't have 11 NFL caliber players on that defense right now.
Let me get what is your take on Jordan Davis?
I respect Brian Baldinger a ton. I love watching his clips. I think he has a really good feel for what's going on in the trenches. I don't fully agree that Jordan Davis is fat or overweight or lazy or any of those things. I think his job is to take on double teams so that someone can fill the gap and make the tackle. It's exactly what we said when the Cowboys drafted Mozzie Smith. Here's the problem.
Yet they had Mozzie Smith cut 30 pounds.
Yes. I think they had Jordan Davis cut weight. And that's the thing. So what happened where he was in the best shape earlier this year? He was making plays. He looked in good shape. He was blowing back the offensive lines. Now what? Is he just fatigued? And I think part of that is that because
I think that Buffalo game took a lot out of him.
Definitely. Yeah, like when you see him hawk Josh Allen down on the sideline, are you thinking, oh, Jordan Davis, overweight, out of shape? No. And so you're telling me between Thanksgiving and last week, he somehow became like a overweight bum? Probably not.
We eat a lot of calories in the holidays, Aidan.
I was going to say, he wouldn't be the first one to put on a little weight between Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. But I think he does his job, but he's doing his job for too many plays. There's nobody he's taking on the double teams more than anybody on the team. There's nobody behind him to make the play. It's pretty simple concept. Again, going back to like high school football. If this person takes on the double team, you shoot the gap and make the tackle. Yep. Well, there's nobody behind him doing that. So he's constantly on the field. The other teams are constantly running the ball. They can't get themselves off the field, so he's on the field longer. The reps add up. It adds up on his body. And you can make the case then maybe you should have drafted Kyle Hamilton. But at the same time, it's like, it's not an indoctrination on Jordan Davis. It's more an indoctrination on this defense as a whole. As a unit, they are not performing well. And because of that, he is not performing well.
Yep. I kind of agree. The same thing. And, he was never going to come in here and be like a sack master or lead the team in sacks or even be like a Jalen Carter guy. That's not his job. It's not who he is.
And Carter's another one. Takes on a billion double teams, and nobody's there after he takes on the double team. But like Jordan Davis, like that is his whole job. Take up space in the middle.
Yep.
Force the line back. Somebody sets the edge. Somebody hit the hole, make a play.
Yep.
That's not happening. So he's on the field again and again and again, and you're seeing what's going on.
Yeah, it's a troubling thing, but it's 1 + 1 = 2. But this
in the Eagles classroom. I'm learning every week. No, you're not. 1 + 1 is equaling 6.5 every time they go to class.
And there's a D in there.
There's a D
somewhere.
Well, we're getting fucking beat down by James Conner, Kyler Murray.
It's not over yet, Aidan. It's not over yet.
It's not over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. Over? Did someone say over? That'll be Serriani's speech.
Yeah, he should just play that speech. He should just play Animal House in the locker room.
I say the same thing that I told you last week. They just need to like let loose and have fun. They look miserable. Like I said this before, like they play with the energy of like a coal miner who just got off third shift. It's like before they go out to the coin toss, they tell the captains, hey, by the way, your dog died. That's the energy that they played with. They look miserable. Sirianni used to be like
Jair Alexander's like, yeah, we'll defer.
Yeah. Like, oh, wait. I still can't get over that. We won sir, you didn't even win the toss. Well, let them play defense anyway.
I want the defense on the field. The whole game. Okay. So even if they score, we'll kick off to them again.
We'll kick off. There's a lot of play defense. But no, the vibes are terrible. Just like they don't enjoy playing. They look like a miserable group. Sirianni used to be like this upbeat, fired up guy preaching competitiveness. I don't know if you saw his press conference this week. He's wearing a Sixers hoodie with no shirt underneath. It looks like he hasn't slept since October. Everything's monotone. He looks dead. He just looks like a corpse of a man with no fire left and no energy, which is like something that I liked about him. He was like the Ted Lasso, like, I'm going to tap the believe sign no matter what. And eventually people are going to buy into it. And they did. And now I feel like he's just like the gas tank is on E, and it shows on the field with the players. They did an escape room this week. So let me know how that went. Given the football IQ, I'm very worried that those motherfuckers got out of that escape room within the 60-minute time allotment.
Well, hey, maybe a couple of them are stuck in there and they won't be able to play on Sunday.
I hope so.
It's like he forgot to like cover the garden and the frost came and all the plants died in his garden.
They worked so hard on blooming those flowers, and now
he went on vacation for a week and he came back and the garden died.
Yeah, they did the thing. Like, didn't the Native Americans used to like burn their crops on purpose to reset it and kind of allow them to bloom again? I think they burnt all of the crops, and they're like, "Oh, damn, we forgot to do something."
Yeah, they forgot to plant more.
I know there was another step to this. I can't remember what.
It was burned, and then I don't remember.
Then it says burn, and then Tampa Bay, and I know there was something in between.
We're somewhere where we had to win something.
We had to do something. Burn everything down to the ground. Go to wild card game. I know there's more steps to this. These IKEA manuals make no sense.
There was literally almost not a moment this season until that Cardinals win where I legitimately thought the Cowboys would win this division this year. Not a moment.
We were going to win the whole time.
There was never. Like, it just like when the Eagles started their tear, I'm like, all right, well, there goes that. When they lost in Philly, I'm like, yep, that's going to put them up. But then Dallas just kept staying there. They just kept staying. Kind of almost what they did last year. But, Philly obviously didn't open the door to them this year. They kicked the door open for them. But like we said, it's I don't, it's not over till I see the damn score at the end of the game. That what happens if we both lose? Dallas wins the division?
Great question. I don't know. I think we're in the same predicament, right? Well, I actually don't know.
I think
we would win, right? Because hold on.
Because would you have if we?
No, because you beat the Giants twice. I was gonna say we beat the Commanders twice if you lost to them, but then we lost to the. I don't know. Just take it.
We only have one division loss to you. That's it.
And we have one division loss to you. This would be a second.
Yeah. And this would be a second for us.
I think we'd be in the same exact predicament that we are now. Just have it. I want to go to Tampa. I'm already
have to go to some other parts of math, which none of us are good at.
Nope.
Just win it.
Just
win the damn game.
Yeah.
Just win the game. Give me the division.
Yep. Hopefully, get out of the escape room. They play every game like they're in an escape room. Like if they don't solve these 8 clues, they won't know to throw a slant to AJ Brown.
I just want the playoff matchups and the playoff times. Yes. I think the Eagles will probably play I don't know. Dallas will definitely play on Sunday. They'll probably be the last game on Sunday. Dallas Green Bay.
Monday night game?
Oh, there's a Monday night game now. Oh, God.
I don't think there is.
No, there's a Monday night playoff game. Dallas played in it last year.
I don't think they're doing it, though.
I think they are.
They are?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. There's 2 games on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 on Sunday.
I think there's 2 on Sunday and then the Monday night game.
So it's 2-7, 3-6, 4-5. Oh, that's 6 games. Yeah, you're right. There's a Monday night game. I think there's a Monday night game.
Sunday night.
Well.
Yeah, there is. So the playoffs would be...
I could see us being the Monday night
Saturday. Game. One game's on Peacock?
No.
Saturday the 13th, wild card playoffs. It says to be determined, Peacock.
No, don't let us be the Peacock game. I don't listen. I don't know who's winning the AFC South, but they will be the Peacock game. There's no doubt about it.
And then Monday, 8:15. I don't want to be the Monday night game again.
I think we'll be the Monday night game, to be honest with you.
You think the Eagles will be?
We already played the Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday night before. And
True.
Tampa Bay was on the last year. It was Tampa Bay.
We played Tampa on Monday night in the playoffs.
I think, unless they want to change it up and give that to the AFC and it rotates. But I think I feel like we'll be Saturday or Monday, to be honest. At least I hope.
And I think we'll be like the 4:25 Sunday.
Probably.
And somehow Dak Prescott will break up the middle with 13 seconds left, no timeouts, down by 2, get tackled just in time not to be able to spike the ball for Brandon Aubrey to hit a game-winning field goal, and they'll lose by 2.
I forgot about that. That was an all-timer.
Every way that they've lost the last 3 seasons in the playoffs.
I totally forgot that happened.
Did you also forget about Zeke lining up at center and snapping the ball? That's his last snap as a Dallas Cowboy.
Yes, it was. Bring him back. The Patriots should have released him. There's been an uptick in we're going to release this veteran so he can sign with a playoff team this year. I feel like more in years past.
Yep. It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So we will be recording again tomorrow, release on Friday for looking forward to Week 18 and the playoffs, but we just wanted to get some talking points out there. Wanted to get Aidan, he had to have another therapy session here. And you know what? If you want to report as eligible, just do it. Stop trying to confuse people. You did it to yourself, bitches.
They did report as eligible. They did. They walked right up to
3 guys did. So
he was like a kid on trick or treat. He walked right up to the door asking for candy, and they told him no.
You know what else happened? Right before that, they called Peyton Hendershot for a trip, 15-yard penalty, and made it a 1st and 25 when really scumbag Aiden Hutchinson tripped him. It would have been a first down, game over. So, yeah.
At first, I didn't know where that was going. I was like, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. So, shouldn't even got to that. So,
but I know we're wrapping up, but are you worried about the referee thing? I feel like this is one of those things where it's trending.
Micah Parsons has not drawn a holding penalty in 11 straight games.
Pretty remarkable.
That's insane.
I feel like they're missing gimme calls, and I don't want the playoffs to be ruined by like a Rams Saints level play where it's like, well, that was pass interference. He tackled him and they didn't call it and it changed the whole game. I feel like we're trending that way, and I'm a little bit worried about that for the playoffs.
Micah Parsons doesn't go 11 drives without getting held. 11 plays, okay? 11 games, my ass. Yes, I'm worried, but we shall see. All right, Aidan, let everybody know where they can watch, where they can hear us, all the good stuff, especially now that we're going to be heading into the playoffs, and then sooner probably rather than later, draft coverage.
You can find me on a journal on betterhelp.com, just ranting about all the different ways that the Eagles could get the ball to A.J. Brown. But if you'd like more of that coverage, we have our YouTube show, Birds vs. Boys Pod on YouTube. Our Twitter account is at Birds vs. Boys Pod. We post all of our clips on Instagram and TikTok at Birds vs. Boys Pod. And anywhere you subscribe to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere you can find us. Thank you. These are fun episodes, therapeutic. And like Kevin said, we will be back this week to preview the final week of the NFL season. It flew by, and luckily, or not luckily, not really sure right now, both of our teams will be playing playoff games.
These goddamn Cowboys. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, I'm further out.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds vs. Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upside alert. Upside alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is?
Be the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.